y'all, I'm Deborah. Welcome to my channel. This is my September update for the Pan Me a Story Watson project. This is based on all of the Sherlock Holmes stories. So I have my trusty copy of the original illustrated complete works of Sherlock Holmes. These were originally published the beginning 135 years ago. By the Strand magazine. They were all published in installments, including the novel Hound of the Baskervilles was actually published chapter by chapter. And the story is that people would line up outside of the Strand's office in order to make sure they got the next copy, the next issue of the magazine. So these are very well loved stories. So I'm going to start with the things that have been in here. And the one that I had left that has been in here the longest is probably the one that makes me the most happy to get rid of. For the Adventures of the Resident Patient, something that cost more than it's worth. And for me, that is anything with Charlotte Tilbury's name on it. I had put in to finish the Charlotte Tilbury Light Wonder foundation. It is very, very glowy. It's radiant. On my face, it's greasy. So I am more than happy to get rid of this. I had, it was a little bit light, so I put it together with another foundation that I also did not want to keep in my collection because it was also very glowy. And I have finished it. This is, I have to put my glasses on so I can see what I'm talking about. This is where I was last month. This is where I was when I updated the other project, and now it is completely empty. When I squirt it, it just, the tiniest little spits come out, nothing that's big enough to actually put on anything. I am not fond of this. I'm not scraping this down. I'm not turning it upside down to get the last little bit out of there. I'm calling this one done. I can't get anything out by the regular mechanism. Done. Very happy to have this out of my collection. Won't buy it again. The end of that story. All right, so the next story was The Adventures of the Crooked Man. This was something that was forgotten in my collection, and that was this Earth Therapeutics Tea Tree Oil Foot Repair Balm enriched with certified organic botanicals. It's a long name. It's a foot lotion. I started up here and then month to month to month, and I made actually fair progress this month. And now that it's getting cold, or colder, I can actually leave my window open at night now and not die of heat and humidity. It's getting down in the 60s at night, so yay! This will be finished by Christmas, at least, at the latest by Christmas. So, and I do like it. I get lazy about, do I really want to get up and go get some socks? So there you go. So that one is staying in. The next product was for the novel A Study in Scarlet, and that was one that I had to refresh because I mislaid the original product. So my goal was with this lip liner from Laura Mercier. It's the color Red Velvet, which actually makes me kind of hungry. My goal is to use 4 centimeters. And I marked it before I started using it. I have used it a total of total of 8 times, but I am down 0.9 centimeters for some reason. It is, the Laura Mercier lip pencils are very firm, and so if you have to give it a little spin in the sharpener to get a non-dry edge. So that may be why it's making progress. It's a nice shade. I'm wearing it today under the red lipstick that I have on, and um, it's a nice red lip liner. It'll be staying in until that 4 centimeter mark is hit. All right, so the next one was The Adventure of the Golden Pince-Nez, and I was rolling in an eye product. And for that, I rolled in this eyeliner by Too Faced. It is the Too Faced Killer Liner in the shade Killer Sapphire. It is a very dark, more of a midnight blue than a sapphire, I would say. My goal is to finish this. It came into the project at 10 centimeters and it is down to 8.4 centimeters. And that was after 12, 13, 14, 19 uses. So this one will be in for a bit longer. It's staying in until it is finished. That one is. I do love those liners though. I really do enjoy them. All right, so the last item that I brought this one in last month for the story, The Second Stain, and I brought in an eyeshadow out of my Modern Renaissance palette. I brought in the shade Vermeer 2-Hit Pan. I have a post-it note on here to keep spoilers away from other projects, but as you can see, I have hit pan in this color, in this shade. I really like that shade. It's a light shimmer, is the palest blush, and I really like it. I will probably bring that one in at some time in the future to finish or to hit a corner or some other goal on that shade. I really do love that shade. All right, so that gets 2 out, and that means I can bring in 2 stories. And okay, so let's see what stories. I got my spin the wheel app here. All right, so the first story is, The Creeping Man. Okay, let me write these down. Creeping Man. Okay, let's see what else we get. That looks like it's done. Priory School. Okay, I am going to go read both of those stories, and then I will come back with some products that match those stories. Hey y'all, I'm back. I have reviewed the 2 stories and have chosen some products. So the first story was The Adventure of the Creeping Man. And in this story, there is a professor who has started behaving very strangely. He's always been kind of curmudgeonly, but he has started having violent outbursts and has been his dog has attacked him a few times and hasn't been aggressive to anybody else. In fact, and at one point was in, good heavens, kitten. He was engaged, will do, engaged to a much younger woman. No scandal was involved, but he was much older and she was younger. And so he, at one point, she looks up into her window and she has the second story room, and he is perched on the window ledge looking at her through the outside window. Just very strange behavior. And so the professor's assistant makes the trip to London to ask assistance from Mr. Holmes. As it turns out, this professor has started recently giving himself injections of a medication that was experimental. that was from a friend of his in Budapest, I think, somewhere in Eastern Europe, who had been doing experiments looking for ways to reverse aging so that this man could become young again with his young bride. So for this story, I am bringing in an anti-aging product. And since sun exposure is associated with aging and skin cancers, I'm going to bring in, no surprise to anybody who knows me, a sunscreen. I am bringing in my latest Black Girl sunscreen, SPF 30. I have about half of it to go. And this one is going to be in to finish for the adventure of the creeping man. Now, the adventure of the primary school is another academic setting story. In this story, the heir of the Duke of Holderness has disappeared from his boarding school. The Duke and Duchess are separated. She is living in the south of France. And the German master at the school, the German instructor, has also disappeared. No one knows where either one of them have gone. It was obvious that the boy had to exit through the window because of the way the dormitories were laid out. So he had gone out his window, fully dressed and ready to go for the day. The German master has gone out his window, but he had also dressed in a hurry, didn't have socks on. I mean, just kind of ran out. And he had taken his bicycle as well. The German master, not the child. So as the story unfolds, it turns out that the young man who was the Duke's assistant, his secretary, was actually a child that he had before he married the Duchess, a woman that he had fallen in love with but was not of noble birth, and so she would not be considered an appropriate bride for the Duke. So this young man was very, very jealous of the young man who was to be the heir of the duchy. He felt like he should be given the lands and the title, and in an effort to force the Duke to basically ransom the child for his wants. In the course of it, he had hired someone basically to kidnap the young man, the boy. They sent him a letter and said, "Your mother wants to meet you. Come out on the moor at midnight, and someone will take you to her." And of course, he missed his mom because she had been in the south of France for 6 months, and he hadn't seen her. He missed her. He was only about 10 years old. So he goes out in the moor, and the German instructor, had seen him leave, and went chasing after him on his bicycle. Well, the guy that basically kidnapped the little boy, killed the German master. He bashed his head in and killed the German master. So in the course of all this, we find out that this is all related to little boy being the heir of the Duke. It's all about jealousy. A jealous young man who was not going to inherit because, as they say, he's born on the wrong side of the sheets. Or as sometimes you hear in the Deep South, he was a yard child, not a house child. He was a yard child. All right, so for that, I am bringing in something green because jealousy, green with jealousy, green with envy. So I am bringing in my palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the Nouveau Palette that came out last year. It is a beautiful fall-ish palette. They're greens, but they are kind of cool greens. So my goal is I'm bringing this palette in to use 5 times. So this is coming in for 5 uses. All right, so those are my 2 stories for today. Let me know if you're enjoying these stories, if you're participating in this project. The information is listed down below in the description box. It's sponsored through the Fantastic Ladies Collab Facebook group. Come on over there and check out all the projects that are going on. There are some exciting ones coming up soon, then all the details are there. We're starting to vote on some themes for next year, for next year's projects. So that is exciting. And other than that, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, whatever makes you happy to click down there, click it. And I will see you with the next video. All right, bye.